Hello and welcome. It's Saturday the 30th of September, and this is my last vlog of the month. Also, on this day in 1863, Georges Bizet's opera The Pearl Fishers premiered in Paris. Thank you very much for listening, and if you enjoy my vlogs, please encourage others to subscribe and share. Well, there's been lots going on in the UK over the last few weeks, and people have asked me to make some sort of comment, and others have asked that I try not to be too political. So I've chosen two main topics. And for those of you outside our shores, a famous sycamore tree based at Hadrian's Wall has been felled. And it's a sheer act of mindless violence. And the sycamore tree was somewhat iconic and had been standing there for centuries. And as I say, it's a mindless act of vandalism. Fingers have been pointed at a 16-year-old boy, but having looked at images of the stump, I feel that a large chainsaw was used and that it was a much more organised exercise, and I feel that more people were actually involved. Some have suggested that it was probably a grudge against the National Trust. Whatever the reason, it is indeed very sad. Now, as I've mentioned before, I grew up in Ruislip, which is northwest London, and we had Mad Bess Woods, or Ruislip Woods as some would call it, and we would often play there as kids. And my sister and I in particular enjoyed hugging trees. Yes, that makes me have an image that some people would be surprised about, but we did enjoy hugging trees, and to be honest, it was a very exhilarating exercise, and we loved the game. And it is, as I say, very sad that this mighty tree has been felled, but I only hope that from the wood something very special and iconic can be made, which will preserve the memory of the tree and make sense of this senseless act. The second topic that has agitated people is that in the UK, a brand new oil field called Rosewell, set about 11 miles off of the Shetland Isles, has been granted a licence, and to many this seems to smack in the face of the UK's CO2 reduction policy. And of course, people are very upset, and they feel that the money for the oil field could be well spent in investing in renewables. Now, I agree. We need to spend more money and invest in renewable energies that are much, much cleaner. But I also agree that we have to go through a transition period. With the oil markets as they are, the price of oil is going to remain very high, and so the UK really needs its own source of oil. My concern is that it has been said that the oil from Rosewell will go onto the world market, which will only mean that the price of the oil will remain high, whereas I feel that the UK should have its own source of oil that is used for the UK only. My grandfather was very much a DIY man at home, whether it was building a fence in the garden or a cabinet in the bathroom, and he always used the phrase, measure twice, cut once. And I really didn't understand that at the age of 8. But subsequently, down the years, I've worked for several companies that have decided to change their systems. And in doing so, they choose a date, they switch off the old system, switch on the new system, and then find that the new system hasn't been tested properly and chaos ensues. So for me, Rosewell is a necessary project to run side by side with renewable cleaner energy for a short period, say 10, 15 years, to give time to iron out potential issues with new energy systems. So, as my grandfather said, measure twice, Thank you for listening. Until the next time, toodle pip.